طيب، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا يا الله علما. مجتمع رواد العلوم الكيميائية المعرفي BCS بالتعاون مع مركز غلنت الدولي وبالتعاون مع معهد مهندسي السلامة في دولة الهند الشقيقة، نرحب بكم في هذه الورشة التدريبية بعنوان Process Safety Management System، نظام إدارة سلامة العمليات، ويقدمها مستشار الصحة والسلامة المهنية الدولي المهندس ناريسيمهان. راح أكون معكم كميسر للجلسة أنا المهندس الخريسات مؤسس BCS. موضوع هاي الورشة هام جدا لكل الراغبين في العمل في المصانع بأنواعها المختلفة، سواء المصانع الكيميائية أو المصانع النفطية أو المصانع التعدينية. نظام إدارة سلامة العمليات هو عبارة عن أداة تحليلية تركز على منع تسرب أو انطلاق أي مادة مصنفة على أنها مادة كيميائية شديدة الخطورة، أو أي انطلاق لأي من مصادر الطاقة المختلفة خلال العمليات الصناعية. المحاضر الكريم راح يتكلم عن مبادئ نظام إدارة سلامة العمليات، حيتكلم عن حوالي 18 عنصر. إن تطبيق هاي المبادئ والعناصر راح يحكي عنها المحاضر من شأنه إنه يقلل تكرار حوادث العمليات وإنه يخفف من حدتها في حال وقوعها. حيتفضل الآن المحاضر مشكورا. Sir, you can start. Please unmute yourself. We can't hear
Hello.
you. Yes, start. Okay.
Start. So I'm a chemical engineer by profession. I have been in the line for the last 49 years. I'm a chemical engineering graduate and a postgraduate engineering graduate. I worked for about 45 years, 36 years in Murugappa Group as senior executive manager operation. And subsequently, I started my career in 2008 as a process consultant for safety consultants. And then I did about 100 projects for ROM safety in general safety audit, risk assessment, assessment of South Indian airports, and so on and so forth. I started my own company along with a friend in 2016. I did so far about 30 webinars to my credit for my company, NSO Associate. Then after, due to some difference of opinion, we departed ourselves. Then I started my own concern, Narasimhan, Hans, Azuz, Narasimhan Safety Consultancy from 2021 till today. I am doing my own 36th webinar for so far. It is the 36th webinar for Pioneer Chemical Sciences. Shall I start now? What I'm going to do, this is the first history of the process safety management. So in 1912, first industrial revolution took place. A lot of accident happened. Gases emanating from the chimneys and faulty machines were installed. Due to that, lots of people died and were not noticed. Then the World War came in 1914 and ended in 1919. Because of that, nothing could be done to prevent accident. Immediately, the second industrial revolution took place in 1925. The same story of people dying due to hot gases and faulty munitions. Nothing could be done. What to do? They were just blinking. They're closing their eyes. They could not do anything. Then the World War II came in 1939 to 1945. Still, the people were blinking what to do. So they wanted to have some kind of process safety management system. So till 1984, nothing could be done. Then came the big Bhopal incident, then 3 Mile Island disaster, and then Texas Phillips Petroleum Company leak. So I just wanted to tell you what has happened in Bhopal, 3 Mile Island disaster, and Phillips Petroleum Company leak. Just based on that only, the process safety management came into its existence. What has happened in Bhopal? In 1967, the Union Carbide people, they have installed 2 plants, one at Jammu, another at Bhopal. So first they were transporting the MIC liquid through tankers. Then they were manufacturing pesticide that's called carboryl. So that was a big issue because they have to transport around 1,000 kilometers through tankers. They wanted to start their own plant in 1976. That is called carboryl. Then they had a lot of problems. Laborers got injured because while they start the plant. One chemical engineers got injured, 30% burns. But everything was told by the union to the management. Nothing cared for the safety. Even they represent to the National Tribunal, Green Tribunal, but nothing was coming forth. Then came they wanted to have it in 1979. So they wanted to make it as Sevin, as a pesticide for coffee, tea, and things. So then the plant started for pesticide plant in the Bhopal plant itself. A lot of calamities took place. No, nothing can for. That I wanted to tell you how did this happen in 1984, December 3rd. There were 3 tanks in which methyl isocyanide were stored after manufacturing. So they cannot hold more than 45 tons each tank. So because for everything, it is underground tanks, atmospheric storage tanks. So nitrogen blanket was given for pumping out the liquid. So 2 tanks MIC was withdrawn from the tanks for manufacturing. 1 tank, there was V vessel 609, 611, 605. 605 tank could not be pumped out due to nitrogen blanket was not given. So they could not remove the liquid. They wanted to do something. They'll be in between the shutdown check took place. Refrigeration is not working. Flat system, all the pipes were removed. So on and so forth. So on the morning of December 3rd, what has happened? So the previous, it is faulty of the management. They say due to some rascal of the laborer, he did it, but it was not there. There are so many queries about how it happened. Now nobody is able to say what has happened. So that is because you will have a lot of fire hydrant ponds between the plant. So what has happened? On the day, December 2nd, so one worker, where the people were washing the washings of their hands and so many things. They have put the hose pipe and connected to the drain point of the tank. So the tank itself was leaking sometime before, we don't know. So it was oddly, it was leaking at the bottom. So what has happened? The people who has done it, the worker, maybe or knowingly, unknowingly, they have done it. So they have opened, the water protruded through the water tank. Slowly, the violent reaction took place on the 3rd. So that was showing on the pressure gauge. It was 10 psi at 10:30. So the supervisor, one Mr. I don't know, his name is something as I should not say that. A lot of things will come. He called the supervisor, the instrument people to test the instrument. He said it is okay. So it was 10 psi at 10:30. At 12:30, it was showing 40 psi. because of the virus reaction between the atmospheric temperature and the MIC. There was a sudden reacting temperature. It went to 292 degrees Fahrenheit. In retrospect, there was at 2:30 people were taking tea. At that time, what has happened? The people, then the supervisor asked the worker to go and see at the top. There was a sudden thud of liquid of the sound. Then he immediately, they have seen the pressure relief valve was not serviced and nitrogen blanket was not working. The what is the MIC gas leak? Even nitrogen blanket was not given. Slowly, the MIC gas started leaking from 2:30 to 4:30. In retrospect, a lot of people got eyes blurred and people died, 2,000 people. Then there was a sudden flurry of people coming to the plant. Then only at 4:30 it was reported to the nearest police station that people are suffering due to that. Even in spite of this, they could not care. Again, they have started. Then there was a huge cry of the people. So 40,000 people got injured and 2,000 people died. And still, they on 6th of December, then government of India allowed the chairman of Union Cabinet, allowed William Alexander flew to USA and nothing could be done. Then what has happened? Then the out-of-court settlement, $450 million given to the people. It has not reached the people. Still, people are complaining of MIC liquid poured through the soil. Still, the case is pending with the International Court of Law. The government of India still fighting because of the money which has given was not reached the victim. Only the middleman has taken over. So that is the problem of the Bhopal incident. So the next I am talking about. Are you able to understand, Kairos? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. I just change the slides now. Don't forget to tell me next.
No, I have. This is okay. Next. Okay. I am coming to the. So one incident is enough, is it not? No, one incident as explained over. Okay. Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Will it do? Bhopal incident, will it do?
This?
You tell me that safety, second page. No.
Second page.
What
okay.
I should, second, the problem, safety. Next. About not, next page. That is.
Yes, okay.
Not before the problem.
This
what
one?
is safety? What is safety? That's one.
Yes.
So what is safety? You have got safety is a relative freedom free from disease or fire or floods or by any other means of accident. Suppose you are going on a pathway. Suppose you trip and fall on the path. You get injured. It is a personal safety. So safety is a relative freedom free from disease. From disease, when you have COVID, we could not contain the disease. Still people are suffering. There are lots of people died in the COVID. They could not contain. What is it? It has come from Wuhan. We don't know what has happened. Still so many people died due to that. In India alone, 5 lakh people. In Europe is empty number of people died due to the COVID. But the China says it has not come from the Wuhan. It is due to something. Still, now the Chinese government has enforced lockdown among people. So it has come from Wuhan. People don't know. So COVID is a disease. If it is pandemic, we have to be very alert. Still, the people are suffering because of that. What is floods? When you have floods in Louisiana, and even the so-called super government in the world, they could not contain the floods in it has taken place in. There was no storm water drain. Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
I'm with you. Next.
Wait. Hello.
I'm hearing you.
Oh, okay. There is something wrong. Rama.
Now it's good
okay.
now.
Okay. What has happened is when 2015, என்னத்துக்கு இவ போன் பண்றா? Okay. Hari, I am hearing you.
Yes.
Yeah, my daughter phoned up. Hello, Rama. ஏண்டி இவ வந்து இப்ப வந்து போன் பண்றா? Hello,
we are hearing you.
Hello, are you hearing me?
Yes, please proceed.
Okay, that's it. What has happened when there was a floods in 2015 in Chennai? The government has not taken for the last 70 years some water. So people died due to a lot of diseases and so on. Then fire means if you have it, you must have jockey pumps and diesel pumps to quench the fire when there is abnormal things happen. Then risk. What is risk? Risk is due to specific effect with specific period of time due to complex of probability and consequence of vulnerability. Suppose you are going in a highway. What happens? Suppose a man crisscrosses in the way. What happens? You have to steer your wheel either to the left or to the right or hit the median. Otherwise, you have to open the air bubble in order to avoid the accident. So that is called risk. Risk is a means of due to specific effect with specific period of time due to complex of probability. Complex of probability, you may not know what is going to happen. What is happening and due to consequence of vulnerability. Vulnerability, what is happening because you have to face the accident. Otherwise, in the melee, you will get injured. So that is the problem. Then comes safety and risk are brothers and sisters. If you play this safety, you can avoid risk. Then comes hazard. What is hazard? Hazard which can be of anything or change. Whether it is a biological hazard or chemical hazard and physical hazard. So when I was a trainee in 1970, when I joined after my graduation, I visited Madras River, Chennai River. There was no place was there. Everything was empty. No place was. Everybody is going from city to the factories. After spending 30 years, people started living near the factories. Then they say, we are getting we are getting fuels and gases. Why should they go and place their dwellings near the factories? That should not be that. That should not be there. So because of that, a lot of people are getting injured or getting diseases and so on. That is what is happening around in India. Near the factories, they place their houses and saying pollution. That is not should not be there. Then comes environment. Environment is free from air. Whereas in Haryana and Punjab, the farmers burn the stable, fire the stable, and they get a lot of smoke emanating from the stable fire. Due to that, Delhi is getting polluted. It's the worst polluted city in India. But the government is taking care of everything and is doing things. Then comes the organic. I will come to that point. What is organic safety and inorganic safety? Next, please. Next. So the mission is zero. Create, before that, please. Al-Khraisat, before this, mission zero. Creating awareness among employees, professionals. Developing positive behavior among people to control process industries related risk. To identify process hazard. To prevent any potential of adverse effect. Increase organization, reputation, and success of business. Fulfill legal requirement. So you must create awareness among employees about the process safety management system. How does it work? So you must have you have to develop, inculcate positive thinking, positive behavior, positive creativeness among the employees to control process industries related risk. What is process safety? Process safety means that is related to process safety equipment, wear and tear. If it goes wear and tear for another 5 years, you have to take steps to see the integrity of the equipment and so on. That is called process safety. You have to then and there, you have to see the thickness of the pipeline and so on and so forth. So if it is occupational healthy, it is due to hazardous chemicals. The people will get affected. That you should take care of the employees. That is called occupational health safety. That is process safety management system of the integrity of the equipment. So identify process hazard. If it is ammonia, what is the higher level, LEL, lower explosive limit, higher explosive limit? Then we have to see what is the audible. It is below 30 or higher audible things. There are so many things. You have to identify process hazard analysis to prevent any potential. If you have the process chemistry and its campaign, you can prevent potential adverse effect. So if you have safety in force and prevent the organization, to increase the organization reputation and success of business and fulfill legal requirements. Next, please. So I am going to tell about 17 elements. What is the process safety management system? Hello.
Yes.
Next.
Next.
Hello.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay. Okay, you are able to hear me.
Yes, everyone
yes.
is able to hear you.
Okay. Easy, my daughter is phoning up to you from US. I told her also. So there are 14 elements earlier. Then it went on to 17 elements. The first is process safety information, process hazard analysis, operating procedure, training, contractors, pre-startup safety review, mechanical integrity, hot work permit, management of change, incident investigation, emergency planning and control, trade secrets, employee involvement, and compliance audit. First, I will come to the problem. Next, please. Develop an written safety information, identifying the workflows, chemical process hazard, equipment used in the process, and technology as well. Perform your workplace as a statement, including identification of potential reasons of accident release that had a potential. Suppose the problem you have got some problem. Well, in 73 I had the same problem. We could not start the pump. That is what is the problem? You have transferred the gas from oil gasification plant to gas purification unit, in which the process is being involved. CO2 liquor consists of potassium carbonate and AS2O3. The pump priming could not be done. For 3 days, we struggled. All the around 20 people were there to start the pump. We could not start the pump. Then we reduced the steam to 1.5 kg to the net positive suction we made to rectify the net positive suction kit, and diluted the liquor to, it was originally we have to maintain 190 GPL. We brought it down to 150. Then we have started the pump and sent to the gas separation unit. There you will remove the CO2, and hydrogen will be taken to the ammonia plant, and nitrogen will be there and compressed to ammonia, will be liquefied and stored in the spheres. So you have to identify the problem, evaluate it, implement it, and select, identify, explore, set the goals to remove the anomalies and alternatives, select and implement and evaluate. Perform your workplace audit as a statement, including the identification of potential reason of accidental reasons that had a potential. Why? How it happened? How the net positive section has not happened? So what was the problem? Because of the thick liquid, we could not take out the liquid and pump the liquid to the regenerator and absorber. That was the problem. So the man who was instrumental putting more steam, more than 10 kg, was caught. He admitted after a long time. Then he said, I have put steam more than 3 kg. So he get caught, he was dismissed from service. So you have to identify, explore, and set goals, alternatives, select, implement, evaluate. So that is the problem. We should not, you have to anticipate when there is a problem. You have to sit down with all the people every week and identify what are the problems you have to face. Then you have to get the anomalies to be identified and set right for the process. Next. Harriet, next. No, the standard word. Establish system for respect to the workplace, hazard assessment, findings which shall present, address prevention, mitigation, and emergency responses. Review the hazard assessment and response system to understand PSM and its requirement, employees and employers, or how to understand how OSHA uses the term process to many actually involving a highly hazardous chemical. If there is ammonia, how in atmospheric storage tank, we have to liquefy ammonia to -33°C. Suppose you want to store the ammonia liquid, what are the provision you have to make? You must have 2 compressors and 1 pressure holding compressor. Then suppose you want to, because it is ammonia terminal, means you cannot manufacture ammonia. You have to get the liquefied ammonia from shore, from sea to shore. Then we had a big ammonia terminal where we had pumped the liquid from the mooring buoy system. We used to pre-chill the line that is goes from shore to 2.5 kilometers where the ship will be anchored. Then that we will pump the liquid to the storage by means of atmospheric pumping. From there, we used to pump. Then the ammonia will be flat because we have to maintain this certain pressure, 550 water column. The storage is 12,500 tons. The first of its kind in Asia we have built up. So we have to see the hazard assessment and response. So understand what will be the process safety management when we do the process, when we do the hazard study before commissioning the plant and after the commissioning the plant. So you have to do what is to be done and what not to be done. The OSHA has given separate thing. You have to analyze lot of things about the hazard assessment finding. Then when we can operate the plant, what to be done and what not to be done. Next, please. What is process safety information? Employees often complete a compilation of written process safety information before conducting any process by the standard. Information on the hazard of the highly hazardous chemical, information about the technology of the process, information on the equipment. Employees complete a compilation of written process safety information. Suppose if you want to have, because I was working as senior executive operations, I should have process safety information before what to do before commissioning, what after commissioning. Hazard study says before commissioning what you have to do, after commissioning you have to do. But that is, if suppose you want to do any hazard study for the plant, you have to do no MLA Pro, no flow, more flow, as well as part of reverse against. You have to do with volume, temperature, pressure, and other things. If you do that, you can do the process, you can write process safety information. Before conducting any process by the standard, you can do it. Before commissioning, what can be done? After commissioning, what can you could do? What are the provision? What commissioning, before commissioning, after the commissioning, existing, proposed, consequence, and sequence. Before commissioning, what will be the sequence? What will be the consequence? After commissioning, what will the sequence and what to be proposed? These are the hazard study you have to do with process officials, with process manager, general manager, and mechanical engineer, and instrument manager, and so on, people and process operator. You have to discuss and develop a program, standard operating procedure of the highly hazardous chemical about ammonia. Then you have to talk about the technology of the pressure, how to run the plant, and the information on the equipment. You should have all this, then you can do the process very well. Next, please. Hello. Process hazard analysis. Process hazard analysis is thorough, orderly, systematic approach for identifying highly hazardous chemicals. The employer must be following method: hazard and operability study, failure mode effective analysis, and fault tree analysis. The process hazard analysis of, suppose your ammonia plant, you should study the ammonia's process, how it comes when starting from oil gasification plant to gas purification plant, 1, 2, then gas separation unit, then refrigeration, and the final is the product. You got to analyze a lot of things, how you can manufacture ammonia in ammonia plant. When you want to do ammonia terminal using atmospheric storage tank, what will be the consequence? Suppose you pump the liquid from the ship to the shore, what will be the consequence? What are the things for the equipment? Compressor, then economizer, and pumps, loading pumps, unloading pumps, and then pressure relievers. You have to analyze a lot of things, then only we can run the plant efficiently. So the employer must be following method: hazard and operability study. Hazard and operability study, you have to sit with the management staff and the worker and the process operator, then you have to find out what will be the thing before commissioning, after commissioning, what will the sequence when there is a problem occurs, if any, then you have to analyze, then you have to chart it out the program, standard operating procedure, process safety information, and so on. Then failure mode effective analysis. Failure mode effective analysis, this is the important for design of the process and product and this is product design and completion of the project. So suppose you want to do critical analysis of the project, you must do what is the design, what is the design intent, how we can make the process viable, then product, how we can do it, then completion of the project. Suppose you want to do a manufacture, I'm telling about a car which comes out of the plant, wanted to do painting, you have to come with the process, then you have to do painting. At last you have to do the painting. If there is any problem, then you have to make things with the management. You have to sit down with the management, how it has happened. When the car is coming out of the plant, you have to, it should be viable for running, for training. So we have to analyze a lot of things. Fault tree analysis. Fault tree analysis is, it is an incident. You have to analyze incident. Suppose your aeroplane goes in the air, suddenly it has got some problem, you have to get down, analyze. That is fault tree analysis. You have to analyze, if there is an incident, there will be a definitely accident. But to avoid that accident, you have to make certain things in on hand, what to do. Suppose any problem comes. That is, it was found out by Americans in 1960, how to solve the problem. If there is a fault tree, that is called fault tree. If there is a one incident, they can solve the problem. That is called tree analysis with one incident. If there is multiple problem happens, what will you do? So that is called event tree analysis. If they combine together and sit down with a process man, mechanical man, an electrical man, so they conclude all the problem you will completely analyze as a one subject. They analyze and do it, and the problem will come out. If there is inlet, there is an outlet. The problem, if both combine together, if there is if A plus B equal to C plus D, if it reverts, the problem will start, because the CO2 plus H2O, CO plus H2O, if there is a water gas reaction takes place in the catalyst is Fe3O4, what will happen? That is CO2 plus H2, hydrogen will be 94%, CO2 will be 4%, will be absorbed in the absorber and regenerated, CO2 will be liberated. Suppose if it comes reverse, what will happen? Poisonation, retardation will take place. Likewise, you have to see the process hazard analysis is a thorough systematic approach for identifying highly hazardous chemicals. Next, operating procedures. The employer must develop important return operating procedure. When there is a startup, what will you do? Initial startup, what will be the things? Suppose you start the pump, what are the procedure you have to adopt? What are the, you have to, when you stabilize the unit, what will be the consequence, sequence proposed, and what should be done if there is a problem? You have to analyze lot of things. Then you operate a plant, normally, what are the basic deficiencies that will come forth? Then you have to analyze. When there is a failure of power shutdown come, what will be the consequences, and what you arrive at? there was problem. If there is an emergency shutdown, what you have to do? When initial startup, you can do it. After a long time, when you do startup, you have to analyze a lot of things. You have to start the pump. You slowly have to stabilize. When there is oil gasification plant, oxygen, steam, and naphtha, when you have to state if naphtha pressure is 48, oxygen pressure is 36, and naphtha, oxygen, and steam pressure, it will be 26 kg. When you stabilize the plant, the steam will go to 29 or 25, 28 kg. Oxygen will go to 36.5 pressure, and naphtha, it will go from 48 to normal 60 kg pressure naphtha. So we will analyze then the percentage of methane CH4, it will be 0.2%. When we transfer the gas to gas purification units, then from there it will be stabilized CO2. Then hydrogen will be sent to gas separation unit. There the nitrogen wash will be given to the plant, and H2 will be sent to ammonia plant. There nitrogen and hydrogen will be compressed to ammonia, and then in the liquefaction plant, nitrogen ammonia will be liquefied, then sent to the storage of sphere. That's what happens. So that is operation. Temporary operation, there is a power shutdown. What will be the thing? What you have to do? What are the valves you have to close and open? If emergency, if there is a pump failure, what are the precautions you have to take? In one day, I have happened in 1973, when I was an operator for gas purification 1. Suddenly, pump failed. We could not start the pump for 3 days, CO2 liquor pump, because of the priming as lost, because of the high percentage of steam went to that, got choked. Liquid could not come out. So we have to diluted the liquor, CO2 liquor that contains potassium carbonate and AS2O3. So we have to dilute it to the minimum, about 100 GPL. Then we have started the plant. Then only I was an operator there. I was the operator. I joined in 72. I was an operator. I struggled for the plant to stabilize for 3 days. I have not gone to my plant, gone to my house. I started the unit, then only I went. Next, employees' participation. Employees' participation help to control the process-related risk. Employers must develop a written plan of action to implement the employer's vision. Participation required by PSM. They should provide employees and the representatives access to process-based analysis and knowledge. Employees' participation in day-to-day events. If there is any problem comes, they have to sit down with the manager and the supervisor, operator, and all the department. They should come and analyze what kind of action they can take. So to avoid the risk, control the processes, develop a written plan, action to implement the employer's vision. They should have the production limit they would have fixed for the month. They should see that production is targeted. Participation by the PSM staff. The PSM should be given what is PSM, what they should analyze. They should give freedom to analyze certain problems among the employees. Then they will analyze with the management staff and to prove their talent in the process knowledge. Representative process-based analysis and knowledge. So that I have to analyze how things happen, how they can rectify the defect. These are the problems you have to do. So that is the employees' participation. Then training. OSHA believes that. Next, please. OSHA believes that the implementation of effective training program is one of the important steps to take, and hence presently involved in operation. People should know about the process and its procedures that employees have the required to operate the plant and its operating procedure. OSHA, what is OSHA? Occupational Safety and Health Association believe that it was started by the American management, US labor. They believed, they have already explained how it came into being. OSHA believes that implementation of effective training program is an important item. Every 3 years should be given training to the employees. How they fare well, how they do the program, how the operators are doing, how the mechanical people are facing the problem. They should analyze. They should have every 6 months. They should be given training. There will be an exam by the SPIC management. They were doing all sort of things in Tuticorin in India. So they will give all sort of things before embarking as an operator. They will be given 2 months, 2 years training. Then only they will be given operators post. So that even for mechanical people, electrical people, for all the people, they will be given 2 years pakka training that will be put into. If you write the exam before embarking on the employment, you should get through the examination. Then only will be employed as a step to prevent involved operation. People should know about the process. Any operator or any mechanical man or electrical man, when they are in the concerned plant, they should know about the process knowledge. They should know about the mechanical equipment, the electrical equipment. They should go through the thorough training given by the management. The employee should know whether it is an electrical man or process man. Everybody should know about the electrical, mechanical, instrumentation, and process. All the people will know. If there is any problem occurs, they will try to analyze themselves and solve the problem. Next, refresher training. Refresher training has to be given every employee at least every 3 years. Every 3 years, you must undergo training. Whether it is a mechanical man or electrical man. So the concerned department has to arrange every employee. You have to undergo training. Then only you can develop your inculcation of the job, what you are doing. Otherwise, it is not possible. If you go and put a layman in the electrical department, what will he do? He doesn't know anything. Because he simply, a worker is, with a Kalasi, if you put him, even a Kalasi will be trained in the department by the supervisor. Because if there is some problem, what if even the supervisor blinks, sometimes it has happened. So the Kalasi will immediately tell what is the point, what is the problem they are facing. So this is happened in my curriculum. So people, every refresher training should be given to every employee, whether it is process, whether it is electrical, whether it is mechanical or instrumentation. Every supervisor, every manager should undergo training in their own way of doing things. Next, training documentation. Record code of the employee must be containing their identity of the employee, the date of training, and how the employee has verified that the employee understood the training. So documentation should be there, focused on what information, communication fact, organized into small base chunks, provides user-directed navigation used as needed. Documentation, you should provide the date of joining, date of training, how the training has to be given. There are so many things. Suppose you want to give training. The person who is giving training, whether it is a mechanical man or electrical man, he should give training in such a way the people should take it in a cognizant way, and they have to adopt things. They have to force it while they are working. That is the training of the employee. So the date of training of the employee and how the employee is verified by giving exams every 6 months, whether they are able to understand the problem of the situation they are facing in the training and in the plant. Training focused on when, why, provide situation, may contain chunks of documentation. Documentation alone will not help. If they go for practical, when I was a process safety consultant for 1 year, when I went after my retirement as a senior executive manager operation. I joined ROM safety concern. I studied for a year the documentation, but I was told by the concerned man, who is one Mr. Chakrabani, you go on to do audit, then only you come to understand what you have learned. So that should be there. If you study documentation, will not. Practical training should be imbibed on the employee to understand what is to be done and what not to be done. This training is only used for a time. If you do the work, then you come to understand what it can be done. So next we'll go. What is contractors control? Contractors. So employee may be present at a particular site. They should know all procedures and process of the particular plant. They should go to PSM. Then only in case of emergency crisis, they can be utilized. Employees may be at a particular site. When I joined as an operator, I went around all the plant to know the process of the plant. Every plant I learned. If there is an emergency, they will be called, because I'm a chemical engineer. So they asked me to come over to the plant and analyze things. I have done a lot of analyzation and I have done a lot of problems. So I've solved a lot of problems. I have worked in acids, I have worked in fertilizer, I have worked in ammonia stream, I have worked in ammonia terminal and utilities. I know water plant. I have come across in my 36 years, I worked in different plants from different categories. I rose to the chief manager of the company. Next, employees' responsibilities. Next, please. Contractor employees' responsibilities. Contractor employers should evaluate, obtain information regarding contract employees and safety performance. Contractor employer also know the job, what he is doing in the plant. He cannot shirk the responsibility. Suppose he wants to take up the job in ammonia terminal, he should know what is to be done and what not to be done. He must take responsibility of training his people. There will be a class every week to train the contractor employees also by the manager of the concerned department, to teach them and inculcate and imbibe them what is going on in the plant. If there is an emergency, when the certain operator has not followed the emergency operation, the people who are contract workers, they can do the job very well. It has happened in my curriculum, in my fertilizer plant, when I was working monoammonium phosphate plant. The concerned operator, he was able not to do anything because I was in charge. Because I cannot shirk my responsibility from the panel, I cannot go. So immediately the worker was a worker, he immediately solved the problem. So you have to inculcate workers also. What Mr. Thomas, he was a worker only, but he knows how to run the fertilizer plant without any problem. Single-handedly, he will do the job. I know he's now retired. He rose to the position of W2, work staff grade 2 operator, because he has studied up to 3rd class or 4th class or 5th class, I don't know what was his qualification. He's a Malayali, but he was able to run the plant efficiently than any other operator who was very well experienced. So that should be the aim of an employee. He should, either it is a contract employee or as a worker or a manager, they should know the plant very well. Then they have to solve the problem. Site leadership is a more important. Technical specialities, they should, if it's a chemical engineer, you must know what to be done, what is process chemistry, process operation. She should know everything, mechanical, electrical, process and instrumentation. Everything he should go round the plant every day. He should inculcate in his mind how to solve things easily. If there is a problem and operators, they could not solve the problem, he has to guide his subordinates how to solve the problem. I have done. There was a problem in 1982, the same thing, what has happened in Bhopal. They were all The people were sleeping. The concerned operators were sleeping. I was in oil gasification plant, 1983, December 2nd, the same day on which the plant saturated cooler, that it was leaking. Actually, saturated cooler in gasification unit, it should have been given molybdenum steel. But what the Mitsubishi Japanese industry, they have given carbon steel. We have to circulate the water, saturated water, they have to circulate through the saturated cooler and remove the carbon. From the crude gas is coming, it contains more carbon, CO2 40%, CO2 4%. You have to circulate the hot water, then we have to remove the carbon. But they have provided carbon steel. The carbon steel which eats away the water, hot water and carbon, H2CO3, carbonic acid. Carbonic acid was, because of the H2O and CO2, it becomes carbonic acid and eaten away the carbon steel. In resulting, the tower itself started leaking. One gentleman was the production manager. I don't know his name. He doesn't know about, because he was a chemist then. He came over from Nozzle because of the general manager who came from Nozzle. He brought him, but he doesn't know about ammonia plant. He asked us to run the plant till the power shutdown comes, but we were not able to solve the problem. When I was there on December 3rd, the same day on which the Bhopal incident happened, the same day on which the saturated cooler got burst, nothing happened. It was night shift. I immediately ran to the oil gasification plant, shut down the plant, purge the system, taken the gun out and circulate the water to scrubber and shut down the plant excellently. I was given meritorious award for that. So it has happened. Pre-startup safety review. Suppose you want to start the plant, you must have what are the things you needed for the plant to operate. What are the things, initial stabilization? What are the precautions you have to take? If there is oil gasification plant, what are the pressure switches? What are the pressure limits? Suppose you want to start the pump, suppose ACD pump, naphtha pump, what will be the lower pressure, higher pressure? What will be the higher flow of steam? What will be the higher pressure of exit gas pressure? So you have to analyze a lot of things. When you analyze everything, if you start the plant, you have to put it on auto and trip the unit. Then you have to start again. Then it is the responsibility of the operator to start the safety review you have to do before starting any plant for the matter. When you start the circulation pump, how does it work? How things are? When we are having two pumps, you circulate the circulation pumps in gas purification unit and gas purification 2 and so on. You have to, so many things you have to do. Are you hearing me? Hello?
Yes, I'm hearing you, yes.
Okay, thank you. So if it is a safe operation, procedures, construction, development, coordinate, design specification. So safe operation, maintenance, emergency procedures should be in place for startup safety review. Equipment, wear and tear, you have to analyze every 5 years. You have to take mechanical integrity of the process and equipment. You have to see if there is ammonia terminal, if the construction of the ammonia terminal, it took in 1996. We have taken twice. You have to see the mechanical integrity of the atmospheric storage tank and then the pipe. It was seam welding, seamless joint. I took, as a manager, I took a lot of pain, see that every seamless pipe has branches and cut into every 3 feet. I have cut into branches and welded the flanges. And I was able to do a lot of things. I was in ammonia terminal for 10 years. I have done a lot of program for the plant. Now it is doing well. Now they have taken the second decommissioning of the plant they are doing. Next, mechanical integrity. Mechanical integrity means you have to see, if there is an equipment, if it is a compressor, you have to analyze why it has failed. During ammonia operation, liquid ammonia, when we were pumping the liquid, suddenly when pre-chilling was going on, suddenly the compressor went down. So we have to, the ship has come from Bangladesh. Liquid ammonia has come 9,000 tons. How we can pump the liquid when there is one compressor, big compressor has gone out? So the gentleman, Ramohan Rao, then present general manager, he was giving me a lot of advice. And he's also a chemical engineer from prestigious institution. He was talking about physical chemistry and organic chemistry and so on and so forth. I just told him in a polite way, sir, I know the process and things. So why do you worry about? I am the man who is here in charge of the plant. I know how to do things. Then the practical and physical chemistry is separate. Chemistry and theory and practical is entirely different. Based on theory only, based on practical only, theory can be applied, but not based on theory. So I told him, he gave me 2 hours lecture. I told him, you come after 22 hours. They say that the 9,000 pump liquid to the storage. I have done with 1.5 compressor, pressure holding compressor, one big compressor. I have isolated the one line. The 2 liners going to U-tube line. One line I have isolated and purged the line through the small hole through the, I have given small pipe, and in the retrospective, I purged it with nitrogen and isolated and took the liquid. So pre-chilled the liquid for 30 minus 13 degrees centigrade and took the liquid, that 9,000 tons. It took 22 hours for me to pump the liquid to the storage. This is a double integrity tank. Outer layer is 34 dia, inner is 32.6. Then there will be upper, there is a pressure cushion is there. In between, that is 15 mm cap is there. That is for vapor to come and condense. We can pump out the liquid. So now I am not coming to the atmospheric storage thing. That is a case study of ammonia terminal. I will come to the later on. If you, Mr. Al-Khraisat, give me an opportunity to give about case study of ammonia terminal using atmospheric storage tank. So hot work permit. Hot permit should be issued for a hot permit operation conducted on overhead process. The permit must dominate fire protection, etc. represent in OSHA. Regulations have been implemented prior to the hot work permit system. Everything. You should have hot permit system, whether it is a hot welding or anything underground or overground above 3 meters, you should have red permit. If it is a pump, the blunt packing or something, it is green. Only green will do. If you have welding or any other things follow, road cutting or anything, you must have hot permit. That is red permit you should have. It should involve yourself. It should be placed on the table for a signed by the manager and the concerned mechanical man, electrical man, or everything, everybody should write. Then the permit dominate fire protection, etc. in OSHA. Regulation have been implemented to the hot permit. If there is welding, you have to analyze. Then you have to see LEL. You have to take from the lab whether it is lower explosive limit there because of ammonia. So you have to take all sort of precautions before road cutting, welding, or any excavation or anything. So you have to do a lot of, if there is any welding in the pipeline or in the vessel, you have to do all sort of things. LEL, you have to take lab analysis for welding. If there is excess oxygen oxygen, one O2 should be there, 21%. Then you have to put the airline. There are all sort of precautions you have to take for hot permit. Management of change. Impact of the change of the employees' safety and health. Modification, top rating procedure. Necessary time period for the change and God of things. Authorization requirement for the proposed change. Because during the curriculum of my tenure, there was a sudden, we were pumping liquid ammonia to the storage. The highest level was 22.95. If we have gone up to 22.90 meters, what has happened? Suddenly, we have to stop the liquid pumping because the pressure reducer for higher limit is suddenly gone. We tried to change everything, but we could not. We could not do it. What has happened? All of a sudden, then we have to put another pressure transducer in that place. So we tried to put another transducer in that place. We could not get it. So we have to sit with the general manager, we have to sit with the process manager and process operator, instrumentation people, mechanical people, general manager. We have to analyze for a week. Then we come to a conclusion. We send the wire telegram to the France and ask them to send a pressure transducer for that pressure switch. And then we made it. By that time we sent the ship because already 8,600 tons came. Because of that, nothing untoward happened. We sent the ship, and when for next shipping, we restored the original switch, and we are able to pump the liquid to 22.95 meters, that is 12,500 tons. So authorization required, impact of the change of the employee safety and health, modification of top rating to the necessary time period for the change of board thing, authorization for the proposal. So everything you have to do, management of change. These are the practical difficulties you have to analyze, and certain things you have to do it. Next, incident investigation. Suppose if any untoward fire accident happens or any leak, you have to analyze date of incident, date of investigation began, description of the incident, description of the factors contributing to the accident, recommendation given. Investigate who, why, what, when, where, how. So there was a small example I want to tell you. Suddenly, cooling water pump, lot of fire came. But the cooling water pumps runs, only thing is gland will come out because of the wear and tear. Lot of fire has happened. That we immediately stop the pump. What has happened? We analyzed. Then because of the gland packing, that has come out, and gland packing. So we have stopped the pump. There is no other alternative. We have analyzed how it has happened. How then 48 hours we analyzed and how things, and we submitted to the concerned concerned executive committee. Then how we can solve the problem. This has happened. So date of incident, date of investigation began. It should be analyzed, and the result should come within 48 hours. And what factors contributing to the accident, recommendation should be given within 48 hours. Who, why, what, when, where, and how. So these are the problems. You have the root cause analysis you have to do. So these investigation, who, why, what, when, where, how, it is the root cause analysis have to do about the problem that caused the fire. Emergency planning and response. Despite the best planning of occurrence, it is essential. You have to do emergency planning and response. Onshore, offshore. Onshore means inside the plant, you must have 5 assembly points. If there is any problem occurs, all the people should go and meet there. If there is a fire in the ammonia terminal, in the liquid line, what will be the consequence and sequence and proposed? You have to analyze a lot of things. So you have to do data management. Why it has happened? How? When? These are the factors. They will try to take out the result from you. They will not allow you to just sit down and play. They will try to extract the maximum things from why it has happened. So this is the best planning of the onshore and offshore. Offshore, if there is any leak outside the plant, because when we ship the ammonia, we used to, lot of problems will come because it is 40 meters tower. We will flare the ammonia. In spite of that, people will come and in the front of the gate, they will make hue and cry because they is getting full of ammonia because of ammonia. If the people get irritating smell, because even it is 40 meters that goes to the atmosphere around 5 to 6 kilometers away from the plant. So the pre-planning, the data, emergency planning and response, you have to analyze a lot of things. So if there will be, if there is inside, you have to inform the coordinator of the plant, and then emergency mechanical people will come and do the necessary things, and the process operator, he should take care of the plant. If there is a fire, then you have to start the jockey pumps and diesel pumps. Everything should be online. In ammonia terminal, 0.6776 kilometers was inside the plant. You have done it. So you have to do preparedness, disaster. If there is a disaster, you must have preparedness, mitigation, recovery, and response. Then compliance audit. Employees must certify and evaluate with provision of PSM at least 3 years. Every 3 years, you must do audit and certify that plant is viable for operation. Everybody, that should be in the file. Every 3 years, complete safety audit will be done by the third-party people, and that file will be in the panel for operation. Standard operating procedure should be there. Everything should be in the panel for if anybody visiting the plant. So information collection, on-site visit, report, and documentation. So employee must certify, evaluate with the precision of PSM at least 3 years. I am coming to the what is organic safety, and I am undergoing a training, one by the space astronaut who went to space along with the Soviet people. What is safety? Safety is a brake. Unless you have brake, you cannot reach the destination. Likewise, if there is organic safety, that is conviction, compassion, communication, humility, and humanity. If there is a conviction, if you have positive mind, you can do things better. If the management is positive in character, the employees will have positive attitude towards the job. The manager also inculcate positive character. He should all the employees to do that. Conviction, compassion. If there is any mistake done by an employee, the manager with compassionate mind, he should allow him to do the job. For 3 warnings you can give. Then you can take the gudgel. You can give, he can be given charge sheeted. He can be charge sheeted. But till such time, you must be compassionate. Communication between the employee and the manager and the management should be perfect. If you have cordial relation between the worker and the supervisor and the manager and the general manager and this senior vice president of the company, you can do a lot of wonders. Then humility. Humility means you should not bow yourself. You are great. You are great. You must be bow your head to analyze things and tell the people who are working under you and teach them in a better way. They can take this your teachings and they can do the job well. So humility should not have one person, whether it's a manager or general manager or any worker. And humanity, you must have humanity when you give worker a job. If suppose he does a mistake, you have to allow him, you have to pat him, you have to think twice before giving any punishment. Ask him to do it, rectify the defect, and ask him to teach him how to do it. Then is the humanity comes. So conviction, compassion, communication, humility, and humanity. These are the basic things for process. It is a cyclic structure. It is if you have carbon, organic, it is organic means organic compound. If it is a cyclic structure, it is a chain system. You have to employ, just starting with worker, it goes to general manager or other thing. It should go round. If it is an inorganic, it is distributed system. Distributed system means people will not work. So organic safety, it is a must for everybody. As done, use a bunta in Hindi is called organic safety. That ends the matter. It is I have given opportunity by the Al-Khraisat. I am closing my show today. Any question?
Thank you, Engineer Narasimhan, for your great presentation. We do appreciate your efforts. It was a fruitful presentation because you included some stories and previous accidents from your experience. This made the presentation very fruitful and interesting. So,
are you able to understand my English?
Mostly, in most cases, yes. Now, if anybody have any question, we can answer him. الزملاء الكرام، إذا في حدا عنده أي استفسار، أي سؤال، أي مداخلة، ممكن يرفع إيده أو يفتح المايك مباشرة. يعمل ريز هاند ممكن.
Any questions, please?
Yes. مستر أحمد.
يعطيك العافية.
الله يعافيك، يا هلا أهلين.
لو سمحت ممكن بس تنزل السلايدات اللي قاعد عليها الأستاذ.
اوكي tell me.
ايش نعمل؟
فلو تنزلوا السلايدات لأنه شوية صار في شوية عجقة عندنا الصراحة.
ننزلهم؟
يا ريت.
أكيد بنزودهم.
مشكور.
Okay.
How was the show?
He asked me if we can share the slides with him.
Okay. You know my email ID. You can send it to me. I will explain.
Okay. Mr. Uthman, please. Sayyid Uthman, تفضل.
مهندس الله يعطيك العافية. مهندس، في واحد منزل على الشات إذا في مجال تنتبه له.
سؤال.
Explain about trade secret.
Okay, Engineer Narasimhan, there is a question from Chaudhary. He wants to know about trade secret.
Trade secrets, suppose you want to ammonia production. Suppose they won't give you out, because now I have come out of the plant. I am a freelance consultant. I can tell you about trade secret, how you can start the plant in ammonia terminal. What are the things? What are the requirements? I can tell you what to do. But when I was working, I cannot give the trade secret. How? Process safety management system itself, it was first introduced in India by the Burgappa group. I cannot, when I was working as a manager, I cannot let you the secret. Now I can tell you what is that. That way I can tell you about that. The trade secrets, the only 17 elements which I have spoken about the process safety management system. How does it work?
We have another question from Mr. Naeem. He asked if you encourage him to do a master degree in occupational safety and health.
Okay. What he wants actually.
He asking you, is it good for him to get a degree, a master degree in occupational safety and health?
Oh, it is good if he does, because he is in Gulf. If he does the process safety management system as a subject, it's better for him to continue with that. It is better to study that.
سيد نعيم إذا سمعنا يعني وبشجعك، وخاصة إذا حابب تشتغل بالخليج، ويعني بشجعك بقول لك تخصص كثير كويس.
Any question more?
Any more questions? زملائي الكرام، في حدا حاب يسأل؟ You can ask in Arabic or in English. ممكن تسألوا بالإنجليزي أو بالعربي. بدون رابط، احنا على الأسماء إن شاء الله، الشهادات على الأسماء بدون رابط. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Narasimhan.
Okay.
Everybody is thanking you now in the message, in the chat.
So I think it is a good show. Is it a good show?
Yes, of course, it's a good show.
Okay. Thank you. The opportunity given.
Thank you. See you later. Thank
okay.
you.
Good night.
Thank
Good
you.
night. Good night.
شكرا للجميع وشكرا
So
لحضوركم.
we'll see next time. We'll see next time. Okay.
Next time. Yes, thank you.
Behavior-based safety. Behavior-based safety.
Yes.
I will do next month or something. Okay.
Okay. شكرا للجميع، وإن شاء الله نبعث لكم السلايدات لاحقا على جروبات الواتساب إن شاء الله. شكرا جزيلا للجميع، الله يعطيكم العافية والله يمسيكم بالخير.